Welcome back, survivors. So today we're going to go over the smoothie farming route for just the base materials, things like gum, and
Grub
at the end
time.
we'll show the mussel
It's no
sprouts
lemon
that you do
crime,
want to make
but
sure you're picking up
it's better than
regularly,
nothing.
especially if you do have a multiplayer game that you play a lot, because when you get a lot of people playing, you are burning through food and you're burning through smoothies faster than I'm sure any of you would like. So we're going to start our route up toward our connection point here that we have made through our oak tree. I do like building things off of this oak tree here, not just because it kind of looks cool and I've always liked building tree houses as a kid, but primarily because you have your zip lines and this gives you an easy access route to zip to most places in the yard, even with a setup like this on just one entryway. You're high enough up to do things like what we're
Highway!
doing here, and we're just going to zip over to the front porch. Quick little shout out I'd throw on this laser here is you do have a scab. I believe it's called the Hyperlight scab. I highly recommend picking up that scab. I really like that one. It has to be my favorite in the game so far. So once we get to the other side here, we're going to make our way toward the haze area, but you want to line yourself up with the rock. One suggestion would be to carry some aphid shoes with you, because it makes this process quite a bit faster to deal with, since this is mostly just straightforward running. You'll see this rock in the rake on our right hand side here. And what you want to do is if you line up your panel, you can connect it directly to the porch. But line it up just how I have it right here, kind of with the end of this rake. And all you're going to do is work your way downward. You will need gas masks, especially if you're doing the building process here. I would make 2 to 3 of them personally, just depending on what you want to do. To do what I did here, I needed a few gas masks as they start tearing into the durability on them. We're going to find our first one here. And I've closed this room off, so everything that comes from the gum pieces, you don't have to jump down to the ground and pick everything up. We'll just work our way down. And I like this process because it requires you to stay away from the ground haze area. You don't have to worry about the different bugs, and you're not building things from the ground up. And there's a simpler way to kind of build to them that doesn't require too many materials, mostly just your foundation pieces. And you can always build just a stairway in each part of the underdeck here to each gum piece. Now, the problem I found with that is that when you do end up getting your gum, they fall toward the ground down there and you have to jump off of your staircase you build and chase the gum around. Sometimes it falls and bounces in places you just don't want to deal with. So this allows you to kind of capture your gum and not worry about anything that is down below. And I did try the difference between using rock cracker on the gum and not using it. With a shovel that's powered up, it doesn't seem to make as much of a difference. Right here you can see the pebble stair foundation and I was talking about just a minute ago. This is another save I had built just to show the basic, the basic thing you can do with these foundations just for stairs. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head towards the last pieces of gum in this route, and those are going to be located toward the picnic table, but we do have one that is below the porch here. And I built this platform just so you don't have to jump. Normally when you get to this you can jump and hit it with your shovel, but I simply made this just so you didn't have to do that. Now what you want to do is follow along the edge of the sandbox here to help avoid any extra problems. You don't want to dip into the haze if you took your mask off. And it's easier just to kind of follow along. Well, we're working our way toward the underside of the picnic table right now. There is one piece of gum that we do want to pick up on the back side near the molar jar. It's also the same one that you will find the golden molar. underneath the gum at. And this is going to be it right here. Alright, so now we're just going to work our way toward the tabletop of the picnic. Now, one thing I do want to point out here is for every builder out there, I highly suggest that you build a connection point that connects the top of the shovel here to the very top of the picnic table itself. This will save you countless amounts of time, especially if you set up a zip line from the top of the table to get back toward your oak base if you have one over that way, or anywhere else that you happen to have your base at. And this connection point is in every game I have. I don't know anybody who wouldn't want to use it. So you're going to see it here, and there's different variations of ways you can build this. I built this one just mostly out of stems. You'll see here on another save that I have in a second, you'll see that you can do it just out of your basic foundation, which that one's really easy to do here because you got tons of rocks that are below you and you have a ton of clay. So you can build as much foundation as you want out here. Now, if you also decide to build something like a lumber mill on top of the picnic table here, or just a lumber transport system, this is also a fantastic connection to have. So that way you can get the stems from the bottom of the picnic table easily up to the top of the table. And this is the foundation connection. Now, the only trick here is that you must start the foundation build from the top of the table. It will not let you build anything connecting to the top of the shovel itself. But it does, once you look at it, it does almost look like it was by design that they set it up this way. Now, I just threw a quick zip line setup here with just 2 acorn stairs and a zip line. I do not really recommend this one because you'll notice this bee is coming after me. The problem with this is depending on the time of day, you'll have the top of that picnic table get flooded with a ton of bees. And it takes absolutely nothing for them to destroy our base materials right now. So one hit from those bees will wipe out your zip line, and it just can cause a lot of problems every time you go and visit. All we're going to do here is we're headed towards our mussel sprouts. To do this, you will have to have the pond completed, and you will have to have opened up the dome that's inside the pond. One recommendation I do have is to store some of your pond gear on an armor dummy, so you can simply swap your gear like I did here, and toss on some Mertine to speed this process up. So all I got is a breather and some Fin Flop Plus, and then I have Mertine on. So this does allow us to swim quite a bit faster in the water, just in case we're dealing with this fish right here, which you're just going to head towards the dome and find this hatch just next to it. And there's only one way you can go. You can't really get lost. Just follow it back up this platform here, and we'll end up in the room where you actually get the burgle chip. And you'll have the mussel sprouts lining the outer edge of this room here. The last bit of advice I can give on these is that the gum itself has a 3-day respawn time, 3 in-game days. And the mussel sprouts here have a 5 in-game day respawn time. So you're only going to be able to collect them every 3 and 5 days. But once you get them all, you should end up with 19 to 21 gum pieces, and you should end up with always having 30 mussel sprouts, which is enough to last you for a good amount, at least until you can farm some more. I tend to like to stock them up for our multiplayer games. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Next, I should be covering our actual base that I had mentioned in our zipline video. It's our oak tree base, so I should be covering that one. Hopefully I can get it out today. Maybe not. If not today, I'll get it out tomorrow.